Hello everyone, welcome to another video in the FTC 5795 Tech Support series. In this video, we're going to be covering about how to connect different parts in Fusion 360. If you guys remember from the last episode, we created a simple cube with a hole going right through it. And pretty much, I'm going to give you guys a brief review of what we did for those who may or may not have watched the first episode. So first, we learned how to use the sketch function in order to derive a two-dimensional object, which in this case is a square. And then we transitioned over to the extrude function, in which we can basically stretch the two-dimensional object to create a three-dimensional object. And then I should also briefly mention how to cut and make some incisions in your FTC part by using the extrude function and clicking the cut variable. And pretty much now that we have this cube, I would like you guys to go ahead and follow along and click Create Design and save this as, you can name it whatever you want, but in this video I'm going to name this Connected Cubes, because in this video I'm going to show you guys how to connect different assemblies. Okay, so now that we created and saved the project, I'm going to go ahead and drag out this cube, and I'd like you guys to do so as well. Okay, and in Fusion 360, when we download parts and drag them onto our page, it'll present you with the ability to move your part around like so, like you could rotate it, or you could just simply move it around wherever you desire. But in this video, I'm going to tilt it 90 degrees to the right, like so. And go ahead, and once you've completed that operation, go ahead and click OK. And then, here's where the magic comes in. Like I said before, today we're going to be going over how to connect different assemblies. And pretty much what that means is that, well, it's kind of simple. In FTC, when we, for instance, connect basic channel, this function will come in handy. So go ahead and drag out another cube. Alright, like so. And then I would like you guys to move it out of the way so it's like at least a decent distance away from your first cube. Okay, and likewise, I would like you guys to tilt it 90 degrees to the left so that the holes are basically parallel to one another. Go ahead and click OK. And now we're presented with two cubes. And the main question here is, how do we connect these two parts? Well, some of you guys might be thinking, hey, why can't I just move it and precisely position it using the move function, like I pointed out earlier, so that the holes can be aligned properly? Well, that is actually a really good solution, but there is another way we can do this, which is much simpler and more precise. So I would like you guys to hover your cursor above the second assembly off to the left of your screen. And then I would like you to right click and go ahead and click Move/Copy, which is symbolized with the perpendicular lines. Okay, and this should prompt you to move the cube wherever you desire. So let's test out our first method. You could simply move it like so with the arrows and connect the cube. Well, you see right here, when I move it close, there's a bit of, the cubes basically are moving in towards each other. So we have to zoom in using our scroll function and precisely connect it. But then again, we still have a little bit of connection, which isn't optimal, but there's a more precise way of doing so. If you guys go ahead and position your screen like so, using the cube up to the top right. And I would like you guys to hover your cursor above the point to point button and go ahead and click that. And then it'll present you with origin point and target point. And pretty much what that means is that Fusion is asking you which point do you want this cube to go and which point do you want it to land in the given model. So in this example, I'm going to do something simple. So I would like you guys to click on origin point so that the select word is highlighted in blue. And I want you guys to click on this line, which is right here, like so. And then from there, I would like you guys to click on the bottom line off to the left cube. And you guys might notice that the target point is now changed. Well, this is Fusion's way of saying, okay, go ahead and select your next point. And I'm going to click this line right here. Wow, would you look at that? We connected two cubes off to the respective sides. And pretty much, this is just an example of how two parts can be connected to one another. All you have to do in Fusion 360 is select your origin point and then figure out the target point just by figuring out which place you want the part to be, etc. And let's say if you accidentally click something right here. Well, there's two X buttons which you can click and it'll bring the cube back to its original position. It's pretty simple, right? And the more you work with Fusion 360, it'll be much easier to connect parts and create more complex assemblies. Let's do another example. So go ahead and click OK and leave the cube in its original position. And once again, I would like you guys to right click on the second cube and click Move Copy. And now I would like you guys to go ahead and click on origin point so that the select word turns blue. And then I would like you guys to click the circle on the second cube. And just like that, I would like you guys to click the circle on the first cube. And would you look at that? Now the cubes are connected together into a big rectangular prism with a hole going through it. But yeah, so that pretty much shows how you guys can create more complex assemblies just by using this move copy function. All you guys have to do is determine which position you want the cube to be in and which place and just which overall position you want to go using the origin point and the target point function. And yeah, so that is pretty much it. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And I hope you guys continue to tune in our series of FTC tech support, as well as the other series on our 5795 channel. Bye guys!